What's up guys, Shane here, Figure Deck 3D Printing, and today we're going to put together Thor's Gladiator Hammer from Thor 3 Ragnarok. So I was perusing through Thingiverse the other day, and I love Thor 3. It was a fantastic movie, I thought, and I found Thor's Gladiator Hammer from that movie. It's a big print, let me tell you that right now, and I didn't know that until I actually loaded it up in Simplify 3D to see what it looked like. And once I finally printed it, I mean, it is massive. This is just part of top of the hammer, and it is quite much larger than my head. So once I saw it, I had to print it, and that is what I'm going to do today. We're going to go ahead and put this together. And as you can see here, the bulk of the hammer itself is 2 pieces. It actually goes like so. And that is the top alone. Once I saw that, I was like, God, the handle must also be huge. But then we have this piece here that also goes under there. And then we have the handle, which is 2 pieces, which is taller than the top of the hammer itself. I mean, it is just massive. So that's those 5 pieces. And then we have to print out 4 of these pegs. Now, when I originally printed these pegs on the Modern Price Select Mini, they actually were too large to fit in any of the slots. So I reprinted them on the G-Tech on my G-Tech i3 I should say, using the same settings except I downed it by 1%. So these are at 99% and they fit in there really snug. So once I put some glue in there, hammered it a little bit, they will fit perfectly and it'll keep it nice and secure, because the last thing I want is this to fall apart. Ooh, man, that is tight. Okay, so let's get out some sandpaper, and I am not a professional at putting these things together. I'm doing more videos about this because I think it's interesting, and I think I'll learn a lot from you guys commenting on them on how I'm doing when I put together these plastic models. I did get some legit glue in, and I got some of that instant set stuff, which works pretty well. So the first thing I have to do is sand some of these surfaces to get them nice and flat, so that when they do press together, there is a little bit of texture there, and so that we ensure that we get a really good bond with the plastic, because once you start wheeling this around, the last thing you want is for it to actually fall apart and break, and then you got to restart over. So let's get some glue. So before I start, I'm going to put a plug in for Bill Duran's channel, Punished Props. I have learned everything I know about gluing plastic parts and painting from him. I haven't painted any parts yet, but I have watched a load of his content, so please go over there, check him out. He makes amazing things, like absolutely amazing. I watch every video of his as soon as it comes out. I'm the notification squad for him, so go check that out. And from him is where I found out to get this Bob Smith Industries Instacure, this is CA glue, so super glue, and then this Bob Smith Industries BSI Instaset. So basically, you put glue on one half of the piece, you spray a little bit on the other part, and you have about a second, once they join, about a second to get it where you want it. So be really careful about when you do that, because if you screw up, that's it, it's done. Like, this basically melts the plastic together, it ain't coming apart. So don't even try. If you do, you'll probably break it at a different layer than actually where you glued. He actually did a test of glues a while back. I saw that video where he tested all of them, and some of them actually broke. Like, I think this one actually broke at the layers and not actually where the glue was. So it was interesting. But anyways, I'm gonna sand these and we'll get started. Basically, the reason why we're sanding is I just want to ensure that there's no high spots anywhere, and that we can get these layers as close together as we can. These parts are almost impossible to actually sand because they're so big and my sheets are not that big. It is what it is. We'll do the best I can. So again, we're going to have to use these smaller pegs here, and I'm going to start, we'll make it 2 big parts and we'll put the handle and everything together afterwards. But we're going to start with the top first. Here's a very top piece. Like I said, this just kind of fits in there. Test fit, it fits almost too well. And that's in there. As I said, you have to scale down. If I scaled it down maybe 2%, it would have been a little bit better to actually pull it back out. But that's not going anywhere. So we're just going to do that and call it a day. I'll put a little bit of glue in there just to be sure that it doesn't go anywhere. But I think we're going to be okay. All right. So now we're just going to make sure that this actually fits on there as well. Okay, we got that half on. I'm not going to be able to use the Instaset on this just because that pin is right there, but we can get super glue under here if we leave it just enough space to fill this in. Again, this is probably wrong, so if you guys know any better, please let me know. I'm just learning how to do all of this when it comes to this stuff. And hopefully this doesn't splash me in the face, because that would be really, really bad. Oh, I do see some glue there, so shoot. We're gonna just do a little bit in here. And I do see some seams coming out, so I can just, ooh, nope. All right, so the top's done. As I said, this is an enormous print. This was actually 2 different prints on the CR10. Each one of them took about, well, I think the big one took 42 hours. The smaller one took 35 hours. So there's 80 hours of printing almost right here. That's a lot. And this is a 5% infill. So don't anybody think that I had, you know, this huge 20-30% infill. The part's pretty light. 2 walls, 5% infill, 4 bottom, 5 top, because I wanted to be sure that I got nice flat layers. You can see a little bit of glue from a previous print on there on the PEI sheet, so I'll just wash that off and that'll come right off. But that went together okay, I guess. It's about as close together as it's going to get. Clearly there's a little gap here, but if I ever go to finish this, a little bit of Bondo, you'll never even know that was there. Okay, so the next piece is this interchange piece here. So we'll put the pins in here. Bit of breakage there, but thankfully that won't matter because that part is completely hidden. Once we get this here, oh man, that is just going to be tough to get that on there now since it broke. That's okay, we'll make it work. And we're just going to hold that on. Hopefully that sticks. Again, not perfect since I broke it, but, you know, not too bad. We'll say I do think that the 5% infill was a little bit not enough, or I should have more walls, because the center pole, like the hole that goes through the entire print, right around there, yeah, it is not have enough thick enough walls. So the bottom one did break as I didn't go perfectly straight down in there. But hey, these things happen. So what can we do? All I got to do now is put these ones here together, and then I can attach this whole thing to here. Oh, I will say with the handles, I printed these with 3 walls at 20% infill. That way it would be a little bit more bottom weighted, and since this is what you're actually holding on to when you swing this thing around, you don't want these to break at all. So these are very, very strong, and again a lot heavier, so that you're not very much top heavy and you will be less likely to drop it like kids. That was really good. So one thing I don't like about this model is that all of the ribs are spaced evenly, except for where the 2 of these pieces join together. They are not at all. The 2 ribs are right on top of each other, and I just don't like that at all. I think they should have had another space there. But hey, guess what? I didn't design this, so I can only just go with the flow on that part. I need to sand that down a little bit first. We're getting tall, so we're going to See how quickly I can do this. Bam, there it is. This is Thor's Gladiator hammer from Thor 3 Ragnarok, and I'm pretty impressed. It's not the greatest model. There was a lot of support needed in all of these ripples here, and I had to clear all of that out, which took, well, let's try to say an hour to 2 hours to clear all of that out in order to get that to become a good print. The rest of this doesn't need anything at all, but even with the handle having a 20% infill, three perimeters, 5 top, 5 bottom, the hammer is still significantly heavier with a 5% infill, 2 layer, 2 perimeters, 4 bottom, 5 top on both of these parts. That's just funny. Okay, so this was a pretty fun print. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So if you guys thought this project was pretty cool, and if you like what you see, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you leave a comment down below that you liked it. If you didn't, please leave me a comment as well. I'd love to hear from you and see what I can do to do videos like this even better. If you want to support me so that I can do more videos like this, best thing to do is subscribe. If you want to help me out financially, down below is a Patreon link. Donate me $1 more, I greatly appreciate it. So as a patron, you guys help me pay for filament in order so I can do things like this. This took 2 kilograms of filament. So I mean, heck, there's like, depending on what you buy, $20 to $40 of filament right there just to print this out. If you guys want to support me without directly donating to me, you can use my affiliate links down below and you do all your daily shopping with those vendors. A little bit of what you buy comes back here to me to help support on the things I do, like building this. I thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, happy printing!